Alright, there we go, boys. The one way to get a lot of views on any video you make, just have a picture of Asmongold in it. This is not an Asmongold video, though, but it's a video on, well, I guess it is, maybe. It's a video by the Copium Clinic. They have a couple of videos for Ashes of Creation. I don't know how I'm not subscribed, so I'm just going to do it right now. And Asmongold on recent Ashes of Creation developments. Honestly, this might be a react to a react, I have no idea. But I want to see this, and it's a video that I kind of scheduled for today, as I've been playing Ashes of Creation, even a little bit off stream as well, and I've honestly just enjoyed it. It's still alpha, you can feel that it's alpha, it's a little bit bare bones, and it definitely has some problems. One of the problems we have seen recently is the whole PvP thing, lots of exploits, yeah, just a lot of things they probably should be looking at fixing. Either way, let's take a look.
Whether you're new to Ashes of Creation or like...
Here's the thing though, I don't think it's a react to a react, because it's an 11-minute video. Asmongold reactions are like 2-hour videos. That is me being hyperbolic, by the way, more like 40 minutes, but you get the point.
Most of my subscribers very familiar with the game, Asmon's recent playthrough matters. First of all, he's an MMO veteran.
Blizzard used to make good games.
But he's relatively new to playing Ashes, so how he experiences the game is telling for the first-time user experience, or
Fatui.
I also think it's good for new people to watch because he's an honest guy and gives the game a fair shake.
Caroline DEI. You know, naturally it's a woman.
Oh, and it has over 1 million views.
There we go, the views portion is definitely up there, man. When talking about Asmongold in any video game, obviously your video will get more views as well. But I think he has pretty decent takes when it comes to gaming in general. The one thing I will say is that he experiences games, for the most part, very differently than most people do. Like, either he will have 1,000 people just jumping around him, either helping him kill mobs or tagging them before him, either they're being really helpful to him as a person, or being really disruptive. It's either like one of those two, and I don't think it's up to him what people are. It just depends on the mood of the chat. In most cases, if they feel like being helpful, he can have 100 people following him and just tagging mobs for him, or like helping him out basically. But then again, you have some people that just disturb his gameplay as well, and in some cases he might even get certain benefits that other people don't get also, in video games. Not from his chat, but like from being a bigger content creator, where he might get benefits that other people will never get.
He started off his 3-hour plus stream with questing. This is going to be the expectation of most people. I realize I'm weird. Love MMOs, hate questing. He experiences...
He plays some games off a stream for that reason, yeah. But in this case, it's a video that he made from his stream, right? So in this case, that's not applicable. But for most cases, yes, I would do the same. I've already done the same in some cases, because I just want to play a video game by myself and have no interactions with anybody, and just to form my own opinions as well. Because when I'm streaming, even as somebody who's a small streamer, I feel myself being, what do you call it? Influenced by the chat, I guess, yeah? If that makes sense. It's definitely a difference between streaming a game and just playing it for yourself. And I mean, when playing on certain servers out there as well, or even like Classic WoW, World of Warcraft, there's, especially on hardcore, if I wasn't streaming hardcore, it would have been a very different experience. I mean, to give you some backstory on this, I made a Maraudon group, and it was meant to be a full group for Maraudon on the official hardcore servers. One person joined, and he complained that the run took too long, because he wanted to join the princess-only run. But I explicitly advertised it to be a full run. So he got mad, he tried to grief the group, and after that, he tried to grief me for a week. He spent a week trying to kill me on hardcore servers, because he joined a group that he thought took too long. I don't know, man. If I wasn't streaming, he probably wouldn't have cared to try to grief me, because he realized I was streaming at some point, so he spent a week trying to headhunt me, and when I was doing dungeons, he tried to pay the tank to like pull mobs on me, tried to pay the healer never to heal me. Like, many tanks and healers told me this, that they were offered gold to just grief me.
One of the exact reasons why I would rather mob grind.
Okay, this shouldn't really be too hard.
For a week, yeah. Like, he kept doing it for a week. When he realized that I wouldn't die, he just gave up. So basically he failed. Good times.
Famous last words. He's doing a quest where you have to gather a resource which spawns in at regular intervals. The catch is other people doing the same quest can gather it too, and you have to wait for it to respawn.
I don't know if I can handle this anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna stand over here and wait for it to respawn. I'm just gonna wait for it to respawn. That's the smart thing to do. I swear to God, if this dick sucker, Okay, we're gonna stand right here. We're gonna stand right here.
Yeah, to build further on that story, by the way, before I leave that story behind and just keep watching the video, the one thing he told me when I asked him, like, why he kept trying to grief me and why he was acting that way, he told me that I wasted his time. So, because he joined a group that was for a full dungeon run and not a skip run, so, like, he didn't know how to read, basically, apparently I was wasting his time. So me wasting probably 15 minutes of his life justified him wasting another week trying to get back at me. It's the most irrational rationalization ever.
And I'm gonna wait for it to respawn. I'm gonna wait for it to respawn right now. It's fine. No, you get the fuck away from me. You get the fuck away from me, you weird troll.
Interactables that other people can pick up is a terrible way to do these. It makes you hate everyone. It's a sub-level 10 quest, so you can't even flag up on these people. Intrepid can fix this any number of ways, and I hope they do, because this was painful. This is the same problem, just in a different way. He has kill quests, but needs to get the tag in order for it to count. Also a bad way to do things early on.
Like, I think we should do something else, because this is like, need to tag and do the majority of damage? Oh, that's a lot. I wonder if it's worth waiting around for this. Because I feel like if I do, it's going to take so long. What do you guys think? Yeah, it feels like this area is super contested. Let's go do something else for now, and then I can go back and try this later. What's up, bitch? Okay, that went pretty well. No, it didn't. I didn't get anything.
I think it's okay if sub-level 10s can get credit for a kill if they didn't get the first hit or do the majority of the damage. He ends up passing this content because the way the quest is set up. He later says what we're all thinking.
I feel like with a lot of these early mobs, like one thing that they'll probably have to do, unless they want to have people get bottlenecked, is that you either have to have like a really good dynamic spawning system, or you should just have a lot of the really early mobs have group tag. Like, it's kind of like, it's not like an MMO thing, but it's probably, like, better than the alternative.
People in his chat told him to group up. I know Ashes is a group-friendly game, but as a first-time user, I don't think this is best for levels 1 to 10. A lot of guys, in particular Gen Z and Gen Alpha, aren't going to start the game with an already established group of friends. This will likely be their first MMO, ever. MMO players are old. According to Strafe.com, the average WoW player is 33 years old. There are more players over 50 than under 24. Whenever this game releases, and Asmongold gives his thoughts on that later too, Gen Z and Gen Alpha will occupy a large portion of the gaming space. While it's true MMOs will help them make lifelong friends, I think it's okay if the game is more soloable at the beginning. Another good point of criticism from him is the weapon skill tree. Every weapon has this essentially copy-pasted skill tree, which uses all kinds of words you're not going to understand until you get deep into the weeds.
And did I already get another weapon point? I did. Okay, so combo attacks are 3% penetration. Okay, well,
I think maybe, like for myself, as somebody who's played Ashes as well, I think maybe these weapon skills are a little bit too complicated at the start. I think maybe it should have been a straight line at the start and then branch out to give you certain options. It's great to have options, and the more you can customize your class to fit your playstyle, the better. But I think maybe it's better to start the customizing at a later level when you know more about the game, you know how you want to play. At the start it should just be like plus 2% weapon damage or something. Just very straightforward. And then later you can branch out. Right now, when you get your first skill point, you basically have to branch out and find out, do you want to have a slow effect on your weapon? Do you want to have a stun effect? Do you want to have more damage? There's a lot of options, and yeah. I don't know. Should be more streamlined at the start and then give you more options later.
I mean, damage seems like it's probably better. Finisher and Deadly Finisher. I think I'm just going to go with this. I don't really know, but it seems like it's a better option.
Thankfully, Intrepid is doing a major overhaul of this system. Hopefully, they're more intuitive and unique per weapon. Bespoke, you might say. There's one moment he gets an item which starts a quest. There's a decent number of items like this in the game, which is part of what I think makes the game feel a bit more lively and dynamic. Seems like he's intrigued by it.
Wait, okay, so I looted a book. Do I have to read the book? Wait, I just got a goblin's book and it gave me a quest.
The quest was a simple one where you return the book to its original owner. Someone in his chat didn't like that quest and he responds here.
What gameplay, giving a goblin a book back? I think that's okay, actually. I think little quests like that are a good idea. Especially if it's like you reading a, reading a special item.
I know a lot of people...
Why is that not a good idea? Like, what kind of comment is that? In classic WoW, you get a quest to walk 50 meters and talk to an NPC. They could have just shouted at each other. It is the most meaningless quest of all time, but lore-wise it kind of makes a little bit of sense. And if you're not a lore person, then just do the quest. Shut up, do the quest, get some experience, and move on. Quests are basically go out, kill X, loot Y, and go back to A, and then go to B again. Or it's pick up X, bring it to Y, and then go to B. Or it's just go to B and talk to person A. It's either kill this, or kill this, loot that, or bring this to here, or loot that and bring him to him. What?
Have very strong feelings about the game's graphics, and he makes a comment on that too.
The graphics in the game, like, don't get me wrong, I think that the graphics in the game right now are...
They're ugly. They're ugly, and they ugly in the ugly.
Passable. Like, there would be some people that would choose not to play the game because of these graphics, but I think the overwhelming majority of people wouldn't probably make a decision based off of that. Like, that's my best guess.
In low light areas, I think
they're a little bit ugly because I had bigger expectations. Especially when it's in Unreal Engine, and having played at the start, I feel like the graphics was even better in the early alphas. Now, they did require more as well from your PC, so they require less now. But I don't know. I think they've been focusing more on the gameplay and not enough on the graphics, maybe. But then again, I think having good gameplay is more important than the graphics, so I guess I just contradicted myself, but either way.
the game looks bad, but I think it shines with good lighting. He states his opinion again here on non-consensual PvP. Ashes has a flagging system where in the open world you can attack anyone. If you kill the unwilling though, you become corrupt and will lose your equipped items on death. It's very punishing. Asmon says this though about...
It's very punishing until you start exploiting the punishment to make it not punishing. So basically, you just kill somebody who's unwilling in PvP, you get corrupted, you then die in PvE, and either go back and loot your own stuff, or you get somebody in your guild to loot your stuff and then trade you the stuff. Which, in an MMORPG, people will exploit that, and according to a recent video we saw, that's apparently like okay gameplay, and slash or intended gameplay.
Non-consensual PvP.
PvP is the most important part of multiplayer games. It is, and that's why you have to make sure that you don't do it in a way that makes people not enjoy the game. And I think that just in general, whenever you make people do something that they don't want to do, they're gonna probably quit the game, right? Like, this is just a general, like, reality. And so what happens is that whenever you have a non-consensual PvP system, you end up... The only people that are truly affected by a non-consensual PvP system are people that don't want to PvP. Logically, right? And so, because the...
Bro, for PvP, they should just do exactly what Arcade does. Arcade had such good PvP, man. I loved it. If you were in a peaceful zone, there was no PvP happening. Unless two people flagged for it and wanted to PvP. It was not just one person that had to flag, but two people had to flag. Other than that, you had the rotating war zones, so you had some zones that were peaceful all the time, and then you had some zones that rotated out of peace and the war. So imagine this, like in Classic WoW, just to give you some real Classic WoW terms here, for my WoW Andies to be able to understand that as well. Using the region of Elwyn Forest, Westfall, Duskwood, and Stranglethorn Vale. Elwyn Forest would always be peaceful. Westfall as well would always be peaceful, which means there would be no PvP happening in these two zones unless both parties want to. And then you have Duskwood and Stranglethorn Vale. They would rotate out and in between peaceful and at war. So for example, for 2 hours, Duskwood would be peaceful, and for 2 hours it would be at war. At war, anybody can PvP anybody, and when it's peaceful, once again, there's no PvP. That gives you the opportunity to level in Duskwood while it's at war and do PvP, or go somewhere else while it's at war. So for example, while Duskwood is at war, you can go and level in Wetlands, which is now peaceful. And when Wetlands is at war, you can level in Duskwood, which is now peaceful. That would be the translation of that system from Arcade, I guess, over to Classic WoW, and that is a system that I would love to see in Ashes as well. That gives you, the player, the option of what you want to do. If a zone is at war, just don't go there. Go to a peaceful alternative until that zone is no longer at war.
People that want to do it are already doing it. And so, like, the only people that are left are the people that don't want to do it. And so I think that's going to cause people to lose interest in the game.
I don't really agree with his assessment here. I think willingness to PvP is more of a spectrum than it is a binary yes or no. If you have a chance for a better reward, but you might have to PvP for it, that's going to change where you are on that spectrum. What I don't like about games where PvP is completely separate from PvE is that your interactions aren't genuine with other players. In games where you can't PvP, people will find underhanded ways to screw you and you won't have any recompense. In multiplayer game of the year, Arc Raiders, a large swath of people wanted PvE servers. I'm glad Embark stuck to their guns and said no. It makes getting to the extract that much more exciting. In MMOs, it creates scarcity when there's material lost through PvP. If everyone could just spam an instanced dungeon or raid, the rewards from it wouldn't be exclusive. Now let's say you down a boss in the open world, which only spawns once per day. The gear you get for that will be way more valuable. So I don't want to just dismiss his argument and say wow brain, because a lot of people feel this way. It's a design feature I'm glad Ashes has, and it sets it apart from WoW.
The more Ashes has in common with WoW, the more it's in direct competition, and there's no way Ashes wins. There is a market for games like this, and I think Ashes will find its own lane.
Moving on, he makes a good point here with solo gameplay.
I think that most people like the idea of playing in a shared open world, but without being forced into having to group with other people in order to accomplish tasks. I think generally that's true. Like, obviously, like, it depends, right? But I think that's definitely it. And so, like, if you make an MMO and you don't provide, like, a really fulfilling, good solo experience, you're gonna have people that aren't gonna play the game.
I think he's right. There should be multiple avenues to level and play the game. I think the hardest should be the most rewarding though. Everyone can play the game they want to. So usually things requiring coordinated group play should give the most experience, loot, etc. Something I thought was fun to see was his and chat's reaction to seeing all the recipes.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Okay. So these are all the items you can... Holy shit! Oh my god!
This game goes deep. We've got a sliver at an alpha right now, but this crafting system is just one example of how much content we're in for. We also like the feature which I think adds a little soul to the game.
I think that one of the best things in this game, this is gonna sound really stupid, but one of the best things in this game is the fact that mounts persist after you get off of the mount. It's like one of those really little things that, like, nobody, like, who gives a fuck, right? Who cares? I care.
Near the end, he points out one of the unique strengths of Ashes.
You know, there's a lot of really good things about this game, and I think they listen a lot. That's why I'm giving my feedback, and, you know, I'm sure there's some things that are going to happen and some things that won't.
The fact that the developers of this game listen to their fan base has been a huge strength. They've made several fan-directed changes like static node rarity and the upcoming wall of shame for cheaters. It wouldn't be an Ashes video if we didn't talk about development time and release date.
How long do you think it would take for Ashes to be...
Release date? Like, half of the player base right now is like 2028 release date, and the other half is never. No release date, ever. Game is never coming out. Oh man, dude. I think 2028, by the way. That would be my guess. Maybe 2027, but I don't think I see it. I think that will be a rush release. 2028.
mass market ready? If you want me to be honest, I think 2 to 3 years.
I think he's right here. 2
there
years
we go.
puts us at the end of 2027. Steven said he wants to hit beta this year, but we all know he has a fickle relationship with time. My guess is we get beta sometime in early 2027 and full release that winter. There's still a ton of systems which will be coming online over the course of 2026, which we all have to look forward to. Steven shows up to him in-game and Asmon gives these quick words of encouragement.
Game looks a lot better than the last time I played, man. Great job. Yeah, just keep it up. Keep it up. Keep doing it.
I love it when people like Asmongold discuss Ashes. Gets more eyes on the project and fresh perspectives. He doesn't agree with some of the design decisions like open world PvP, and that's fine. There are plenty of things I don't like about the game either, like cosmetics and questing, but the overall concepts of affecting an ever-changing world with large-scale PvP battles keeps me hooked. New voices will often disagree with certain design features of the game. The vast majority of it, though, comes from a good place. People care enough about the success of this MMO that they express their opinion.
I know this was another React type video. These won't be the bulk of my channel. In fact, here's a sneak peek at my next video.
Okay.
So previously I had the impression that at launch when a settlement levels up, so do all the mobs in the zone. Well, based on some comments Steven made in my interview with him, we found out it's a little bit more complicated, and here's how. I was initially pumped when I saw the trailer, but after watching it again, something felt off, especially for a PvP-focused MMO. And then I realized,
This trailer is very feminine. Stay tuned for the next video, and as always, be careful with copium.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
highly addictive.
Yo, we do love some copium here, though, don't we? I mean, we've been talking about the TBC launch date announcement now for a long time. We do love some copium, dude. That was a good video. I love talking about Ashes. I've been following the development of Ashes for a long time. Can't wait to see what happens when Ashes launches later. It's gonna be fun, man, to see. I can't wait. I hope that they take some feedback based on the early access as well, because I mean a lot of people have been leaving feedback on the early access. I've seen some videos on the exploits. I've seen some monetary exploits, basically able to print the gold. The PvP stuff I'm not really happy about. The forced PvP. I don't know. Have you seen this MMO called Monsters and Memories? It's like EverQuest style. I've seen it. It's not exactly my style, but I wouldn't be against trying it.